Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Aldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping with news that's jaw dropping. They're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening, if you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and live with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go and all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
If you smell what
The dude.
is cooking.
I wanted this job bad.
And I am a motivational speaker.
All right, here's what I know.
Yeah,
This community is strong. This place has been kicked, it's been battered, it's been bruised.
we just might blow the whole planet up, you know.
I can sit up here and give you coach speak all day long. None of that matters, and you guys don't want to hear it anyway.
I'm sick and tired of living in a van down by the river.
Here's what I do know. You've had enough of that shit.
Yeah,
This city's been down, and it found a way to get up. We're going to kick you in the teeth.
well, you know me, Gene, we really don't know what we're dealing with here, man.
All right, and when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you, and when you knock us down,
Grab his stick and twist it.
we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Twist this dude.
All right, and we're going to stand up, and then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down.
Reckless abandon.
All right, and on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap,
I didn't blame anyone for the loss of my legs.
and we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down.
I don't give a rat's behind.
And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you.
I'll bite your legs off. We're gonna wrestle around.
Before long, we're going to be the last one standing.
You're not going to amount to jack squat. Yeah.
I'm the dude.
That never gets old.
Let me talk to you.
That never gets old. It never does.
It doesn't.
That might be the best thing you've ever put together. Seriously.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I enjoy listening to it every single time.
It's so funny. Like I said, I could listen to that like all day and still laugh every time I hear it. With that intro, welcome to episode 119 of Sports on Tap Detroit. I'm Chris Scott alongside Joe Waddell. Joe, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I just realized I did not adjust your camera view, so now it has an empty chair as part of the camera view.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
The things you realize when you go live.
All good. All
Yeah.
good. So let's get into recapping a wild week 1 in the NFL. And I mean, first story up, probably the biggest story going into the season was the New York Jets, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
And now it's an even bigger story.
So it was a huge story for one of a couple reasons, right?
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Then I think we all had them pegged to be on Hard Knocks before they got pegged to be on Hard Knocks.
Yes, we did.
And then they were on Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
And so that hyped them up a little more. But the biggest thing was the Aaron Rodgers situation. Was he going to go there? Was he not?
No.
He was going to go there. They already signed receivers that he wanted, but then he couldn't get traded from Green Bay. So they just had a couple receivers sitting there waiting for him to get traded.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a debacle.
For lack of a better word, yes, that's exactly what it was. It was a debacle. I agree with you. But week 1 comes around. Everybody's excited, making his Jets debut. Monday Night Football at MetLife Stadium. Primetime game.
I was pretty pumped. I sat down and watched it. I'm like, listen, this is going to be a good game.
I had a baseball game last night. One of the guys on my team, he's a Jets fan, so we brought an iPad, so we were watching it on the bench. It was great. And then 4 plays in, he gone.
He gone.
He gone. He gone. And when the play happened, the guy on my team who's a Jets fan, he was actually batting when this happened. And he finally comes back to the dugout, and I go, "Hey Seth, yeah, Rodgers, he might be done for at least this game. He goes, what do you mean? He thought we were fucking with him.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this is legit. And then obviously as the game progressed and we got more updates, and you saw Rodgers go into the tent and then get loaded onto the cart.
The way he sat down.
Oh yeah.
And the look on his face.
Oh, he knew
instantly.
Oh yeah.
By looking at that, I went, he's done.
You kind of knew.
Done.
It was like
the look on his face gave you everything you needed to know when he sat down on that field.
Well, shit. Even when he had to have help getting off the field.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, this is not good.
By the way, I just want to say, hey, what's up to Frank and Eric? They're both in on this one.
And he's dead.
Eric says, I'm here.
He's DED dead.
And Frank says, and he's dead.
Cross him off then.
Cross him off then.
But so you look
This
at
guy here is dead.
Cross him off then.
Love that. So you look at where the Jets go from here, and for the time being, they're gonna have Wilson as their backup. He's gonna start.
Yes,
he's going to.
Yes.
Now I look at this situation and thinking about it last night and kind of talking with some people today about it. I don't necessarily think it's a horrible thing, even though I think he's not a very good quarterback.
No.
We've made mention of this. We both are not high on him, like in the least.
No.
However, with this team, all he has to do is not do something fucking stupid. All he has to do is not play like Josh Allen played last night.
Don't turn over the football.
Don't do Josh Allen shit. Like,
don't be reckless.
Yes. Again, don't do what Josh Allen did last night.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that in a few.
Yeah, we need to.
Yes, we absolutely do. But all he has to do is just he has to be Brad Johnson, basically. Is what he has to do.
He has to be Rich Gannon.
Yeah.
He has to be Trent Dilfer.
Just don't do stupid shit. Your defense is good enough to carry you to wins.
See, and by all accounts, and neither one of us like him as a quarterback, right?
No, certainly not.
But by all accounts, he's actually progressed, even by his teammates' accounts. He's progressed working beside and under Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers did the thing that he really didn't do with Jordan Love. He kind of took him under his wing and kind of helped him out. And by all accounts from the players, they said Zach had his best preseason. He didn't feel pressure to do anything. He felt that he could just learn and become a better quarterback. Who knows? Maybe he isn't the Zach Wilson we saw before. Now, last night was no coming-of-ages story for him as an NFL quarterback. It wasn't a great performance.
But it was better than Josh Allen's.
It was. Sadly.
And that's a fucking problem.
Sadly, it was.
That's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
That Zach Wilson outplayed you.
That's
like
a big
like
problem.
a so-called elite quarterback. Dude, you're not even great.
Not at this point.
You're very good. You're not even great. Elite? Get the fuck out of here.
And that's coming from two guys who are a fan of this kid. But man, has he just completely regressed? What is his deal?
It's so weird, the difference in him now as opposed to when Brian Daboll was there. It's night and day.
Yes. Although he did show signs of being reckless and turning the ball over when Daboll was there, but it wasn't near as bad.
It wasn't as egregious as what he's done in the past, season and the first game of this year.
Right.
And those picks last night, the first one, all right, whatever. That's whatever. It is what it is. You can almost attribute that it's a punt. Fine. But the other two?
Yeah.
Oh God. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's just unacceptable. And I'm tired of him after games like this saying, "No, it's on me. I got to do better." Blah 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 blah. All right, and then you know what?
Nobody's questioning that. We all know it's on you.
Either do fucking better, or shut the fuck up. Because I'm done with it. I'm absolutely fucking done with it. And then you got some guy on ESPN, one of the 8 million morons they have on that network, saying, "Oh yeah, Josh Allen, he's not getting any of the smoke." I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? If you go on the Twitter today, he is getting crushed on
Is he
Twitter
really?
today. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good, he should be.
He is getting even by Bills fans. He goes, "This loss is on nobody else but him." Like, if he plays even adequate, the Bills win that game.
Yep.
If he does exactly what we talked about Zach Wilson doing, game manager, the Bills win that game.
Yep.
But no, you want to play fucking hero ball and like go like a Walmart version of Brett Favre and lose. And then come out after the game and say, oh, this one's on me. Yeah, we know it's on you. Your fucking teammates know what's on you. The fans know it's on you. All these idiot talking heads know it's on you. Of course.
Everybody
Then fucking do something about it. If you're not going to do anything about it, shut the fuck up and let the next guy in.
They don't have a next guy.
That's the problem, right?
I mean, can he fix this? Because we've talked about this.
Fucking better.
We've talked about this the last 2 seasons, and we said before the season started, he needed to take that next step. He needed to be better at protecting the football. You cannot go out there and be a gunslinger and turn the ball over. Your team will lose.
Yeah.
And by evidence last night against the Jets, who are overall a good team.
Yes.
Their defense overcame you. Their special teams overcame you. And you know why? Because you turned the ball over.
Yeah.
You cannot do that in the NFL. You can't. You're not going to win.
You can't. It's rare that you can have 4 turnovers in a game and win. It's rare.
It very
rare. And all those turnovers are attributed to you.
Yes.
The 3 picks and the fumble are attributed to you. Like, you're supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to be an elite quarterback, quote. Elite. No. Again, you're not even a great quarterback.
Not making those mistakes, you're not.
I said you're not even a great quarterback. You're very good, but you're not great, and let alone elite.
He's very talented.
He is. And that's the frustrating part about it, is
you have to put that together with what's up
Yes.
here too. Like, you have to be smarter with the football, and it's the thing. It's the same thing I used to talk about with Matt Stafford, and people here didn't want to hear it for a while. But Matt Stafford had all the talent in the world, and he had a cannon for an arm, but he was reckless with the football when it mattered.
Yep. Yeah. Until he finally figured it out, and then he wasn't.
And even then he was.
Yeah.
In L.A., they don't win the Super Bowl. They don't go on and win that Super Bowl if Jaquiski Tartt intercepts that football that hit him right in the fucking numbers from Matt Stafford.
Right.
That was an egregious error that just didn't happen because Tartt didn't catch the football.
Right.
I mean, he hit him right in the numbers. So it's one of those things, man. You have to be better at it. Now, Stafford got better at it. He wasn't necessarily great at it, but he got better at it.
No,
they won a Super Bowl.
That's what I mean.
Like, he got a little bit better at it.
Yeah.
Josh Allen needs to fix something, man.
He does. He needs to stop with the hero ball and just take what the defense gives you. Yeah. Like, if you have to take the sack, take the sack, and live to fight live to fight next possession, instead of giving the opposition like great field position and an easy chance to score, and basically fucking over your defense. Like, that's kind of what you did. You're fucking over your defense.
Yep.
So you got to be smart, and not to mention the running as well, dude. Go out of bounds, man, or slide. You don't need to take these hits.
No,
it just makes no sense to me. Like, I saw a few instances last night. I'm like, dude, just slide. Like, I know you want the extra yards. I get it.
But are the couple extra yards really worth?
Yeah, really
worth
those
you?
2 extra yards. Is that worth it?
There has to be a time where
Yes.
you decide to give yourself up.
So,
we'll go from this game. We'll do a couple of things for this game, and then we'll rewind all the way back to Thursday for the next game we talk about. But for this one, here's a couple of overreactions that I want to talk about. The Jets' defense and special teams just saved the New York Jets season.
It's going to have to save their season. Period.
Well, I mean, they just had a big win.
They did.
Against a team that, even with Aaron Rodgers, they could have and maybe should have lost to.
Right.
But they pulled out a win even after Rodgers went down 4 plays into the game.
But that's the thing with that team is we kind of thought, even with Rodgers, their defense was going to have to be a big part of that team.
And it is.
And now it's going to have to be an even bigger part of it.
Much bigger.
Yeah.
Much bigger. And they showed up for that first game.
They did, absolutely. They played really
showed
well.
up in that first game, and they absolutely saved that game for them.
They did.
For Buffalo, overreaction. Josh Allen just cost the Bills a golden opportunity in the AFC.
It's hard to say that after week 1. If
Right.
this was like week, we'll say 6, Then yeah, okay. But yeah, week 1.
I think it's very hard to say that that's
is.
true after week 1.
Because again, the AFC East is going to beat the hell out of each other.
Yes. And by all accounts, we said this was going to be a very good division. So
It is, yes.
I think we move from that game on. We rewind all the way back to Thursday.
What happened Thursday?
There was a football game on Thursday. It was the beginning of the NFL season. It was the first game.
Yeah.
And a team called the Kansas City Chiefs
Yes.
were at home against a little team named the Lions.
The Leos.
The Leos.
The Leos. Okay.
The Lions.
Oh, I'm familiar with them.
They're from around here.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
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 So, Detroit won this game. In case you've been living under a rock, they won the game 21-20. In a game that I think matches the rest of this first week, a game that was sloppy.
It was a terrible football game.
And I, Chris, we talked about this before the show, and I talked about this with a couple other people. And we'll just say this because I don't want people to think we're going to be bashing on this game. That last game we talked about was sloppy.
Oh, yeah.
This game we're going to talk about was sloppy.
Yep.
The majority of football this weekend in the NFL was very sloppy.
That it was.
It was ugly.
Oh, yeah.
It was not pretty.
Yep.
Something needs to change with the NFL, man.
Agreed. And we talked a little bit about this before the show. And it comes down to, there's a few factors in this. Like, the 3 preseason games. I don't have an issue with the 3 preseason games. However, I do have an issue with the nobody's playing in them.
Nobody playing in them.
Yeah.
Like, you took away a preseason game to put on an extra regular season game.
Right.
Okay, great. But at this point in time, if I'm going to equate that to you took away a preseason game to give me week 1. Say week 1 is the extra game because there's 17 games now. Week 1, fine, that's the extra game.
Right.
It's sloppy football. It's ugly. It's hard to watch.
Yep. It is.
So there has to be the NFL has to figure something out here where they don't come into week 1. Every team is not coming into week 1 and just ill prepared to play regular season football.
And it's being said now they're kind of replacing teams are replacing preseason games and not starting the starters with these joint practices, which I'm sorry.
I'll be honest with you. I think sometimes those joint practices you can get more out of because you can actually create scenarios.
Yeah.
And you're going full you're going full out. You create it's ones versus ones. You know, sometimes in a preseason game you're getting ones versus threes.
Yeah.
Ones versus twos, twos versus threes, and in the joint practices you can actually work on certain things. In a preseason game, every scenario doesn't always come up.
That's true.
So you can't work on it, right?
Right.
So the joint practices, you're practicing against another team. You're practicing on things you want to do. I think if more teams did those, plus use the regular season games to also hone in what they want to do, you don't have to play your starters in every single one of those 3 fucking games, but at least play them more than you have. Do joint practices in every week.
Yeah.
Practice your ones or play your ones in a couple of those games for at least a quarter. And I think we'll get better football in week 1 than we have now.
So, this is from Jeremy Jankowski. I hope I got that right, Jeremy.
Yep.
I said the defense looked good, not great. The defense looked good, not great, but good. We still lose if TK plays and Travis Kelce. Yes.
Listen. Even as a Lions,
I think the Lions lose if Cadaverous Tony catches 2 of those passes.
Yeah, but again, as a Lions hater, I'm still not going to sit here and say ifs and buts, candies and nuts. You know what I mean? Like it's you play who you play, and they have playing who they have playing on that week. Every week, there's going to be players out for every single team. Players get hurt. Players don't play.
Yeah.
Like Chris Jones. Okay, he had a contract dispute. Now they worked it out.
I saw that.
And he's coming back. I think the biggest reason they worked it out is because they lost to the Lions and they realized, we kind of fucking need you.
They saw they got 0 pass rush.
Right.
So,
but when it comes down to it, no, the Lions won that game. Was there – and the Lions right now are at a point where there's no moral victories. You win or lose, right? So when you look at this, the Lions won. They pulled out a close game against the defending Super Bowl champs. There's nothing could take that away from them.
And speaking of that, can we be done with the whole conspiracy theory against the Lions with officiating?
Oh, please. I mean, I've been asking that for years, but
right. But you saw that game when the like egregious holding, like damn near every play, and the dude was lined up like 3 yards off the line of like 2 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely.
Didn't get called for it like once.
No.
And yet you still won the game.
Right.
But there's a conspiracy theory against the Lions, right?
And they still won the game. You know why? It's been what I've been preaching for years now. You still won the game because you're a good enough team to overcome that. When you can't overcome that, you're a bad team.
Yep.
Every team that wins
Yes.
overcomes a bad call during a game, if not more.
Yep.
Because, as we've talked about, the refs are fucking bad.
Yes.
They're bad.
They are, yes.
They're not good.
Ooh.
So you have to overcome that.
Until you get full-time refs, which, again, I think is still absurd that the NFL does not have full-time refs. This is the way it's going to be. It's the fact.
But that, yeah, it's just they're just bad. But yeah, let's do away with that narrative too. Let's do away with that narrative,
please.
Hey, Alicia.
Sup, Alicia?
So let's do away with that narrative. Let's do away with the narrative that.
And Eric agrees with us. Must have full-time refs. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Let's do away with the moral victory thing with the Lions, please, because before it was always they hung in the game with the Chiefs and they hung in this game with the Eagles and no, they're a good enough team now. You gotta stop that too. There's no moral victories. It's you win or lose.
It's time to stop celebrating mediocrity.
Yes.
Yeah, or failure.
Right.
If you want to go that route. Yeah.
Right.
But
so in this game, let's speak to it. Yes, you already said it. If Cadaverous catches 2 of the 4 fucking footballs that he drops, one of which went for a pick 6, Lions might not win that game. But again, ifs and nuts. We're here to dissect the game a little bit.
Dude hit him in the worst spot.
In his hands.
Jesus.
I mean,
could have thrown that any better.
3 of those could have been thrown any better.
Yep.
One was a little off, but I mean, 3 of them were in the hands.
Oh yeah. And Jeremy Yankowski says him lining up 2 feet back just shows they respect Hutchinson. I mean,
well, and I mean that's what it was. I mean he was trying not to get beat by Hutch, and the refs were blind as hell because
I don't understand.
I mean the game started off, he wasn't lined up as far back as he ended
right.
up being lined up by the beginning of the second half, but he kept inching backwards every time he would go up there, and the refs never called it. So he just kept doing it. And at a certain point, he was almost lined up in the backfield, and you're like, all right, time out. Are you ever going to call this? Because when he first started lining up at the beginning of the game, his helmet was at the waistline of the center.
Yeah.
Now, he was close,
right.
But then it seemed like almost every single play, he would back up just another step and back up just another step. By the beginning of the second half, he's lined up in the backfield like a running back. You're like, what is going on here?
It's kind of like a catcher. Just keep lining up a little bit outside.
Outside.
See how much more he can get.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's
like what the Atlanta Braves pitchers did in the 90s, like with Glavine and those guys. Dude, they were getting strikes that were in the other batter's box. They just were. But if they're not going to call it, fuck, keep doing it.
That's what's so sad about it is they just didn't call that. They were blind as hell. He was tipping run past the whole game. His legs shook on passes, is what Frank said. I did not notice that. I'll have to go back and take a look at that.
Yeah.
I did see an article that said that what's his name, Juwan Taylor, that he was tipping plays, but I didn't actually read the article.
I saw that. I didn't read the article about it, but I came across
so maybe I'm assuming that's what Frank is talking about. But yeah, that's bad too, because if you're tipping plays, I mean they know whether to pin their hair back and run after the quarterback, or whether to pinch in and try to stop the run. So,
again, going back to
you're hindering your team.
Going back to the pitcher catcher thing, if the hitter knows what's coming, that ball's going to go a long way.
See ya. He gone.
Exactly. So moving on from that game, what game you want to hit next?
Well, I want to do the overreactions to this one.
Okay.
Whoops, I just rang the bell for some reason. So hold on.
That was weird.
I want to do the overreaction. So overreaction, the Lions won the first game of the season, and they're going to win the last game too. So basically saying it's Super Bowl or bust for them. They're going to win the Super Bowl.
No.
Yeah, I disagree with this one too. Not real. That's a not real one. But I think at this point with them winning that game, no matter who missed that game for Kansas City, don't let anybody tell you that means anything. They won that game in Kansas City.
Eric,
no. It's just flat out no.
No.
With them winning that game, You do have to believe they are a contender in the playoffs, though. It's not just playoffs now. You need to believe they're a contender.
No. No, I don't have to believe that. I believe they will get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And if they have a home playoff game, 100%.
To me, I look at it, there's that game solidified for me the fact that there should be no team that they can't beat. They can beat anybody at this point.
Oh, that I don't.
Whether they do or not.
Yeah,
is
that
another thing.
I don't disagree with.
They
you
can.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is the NFL. Anybody can beat anybody.
That's true. But I think they're more set up now to win those games than they used to be.
Fair.
I mean, they used to win those games too. Sunday night game against New England.
Yeah.
Defending Super Bowl champs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they took it to them.
Yeah.
They didn't do shit that season, though. This is different.
Yeah.
And I hate saying that, but it's different.
It is. It's definitely a better culture, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Here's an overreaction. Or here's the reaction for the Kansas City one.
Yeah.
Just relax. Travis Kelce and Chris Jones were out. The Chiefs are going to be fine. Kelce will be back. And now we know Chris Jones is going to be back. Everything's going to be fine.
Yes.
They're not washed. They're not done. They're not finished.
Yes. I concur with that. Yes.
I concur with that one too. I agree with that one.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly.
I think they will be.
Now, I believe they have not much on the receiving core after that.
No.
Now, Justin Watson looked pretty damn good.
Right.
You need to get him more involved. But Rashee Rice, actually, rookie, he looked pretty good. 5 targets, caught 3 of them. One of them was a touchdown in the back of the end zone.
Right.
The other players on that team, did not look very good. And Sky Moore, who I talked about, he only had 3 targets in a game where you should have had him more involved. I mean, Cadaverous Tony had 5 targets.
And dropped 4 of them.
And dropped 4 of them. And had 1 catch for 1 yard.
Oh, yeah.
You need to get a guy like Sky Moore involved. You need to get a guy like Rashee Rice more involved. Those guys, yes. Justin Watson, yes.
I think that's as many yards as the Steelers had in the first half against the Niners. I'm serious about that.
That's bad.
Yes.
Okay, so what game do you want to move on to next? And we're just going to do quick hitters for some of these guys. We're not going to go through
since I brought
every
up the Steelers, let's hit the Niners and Steelers game.
Let's hit the Niners-Steelers game. Okay.
Niners defense looked great.
I think the whole Niners team looked good. Like,
fair.
they look in midseason. They're like the one team that looks in midseason form.
Yeah, it's hard to say that they didn't because they just flat out dominated Pittsburgh.
It looked like at a certain point they just stopped trying.
They
were just like, all right, well, we're done.
But I'm watching the Steelers, and I'm just like, and this is why preseason it doesn't fucking mean anything. It doesn't, because literally Kenny Pickett had a perfect QB rating, right?
Yeah,
and then he goes into this game and it looks like he's never thrown a football.
It looked bad.
It looked really bad.
Now again, we're talking about overreactions, right?
Yes.
San Francisco's defense is great.
Yeah, it is good.
So we talked about how bad teams look in the first week.
Yeah.
A lot of them look bad. I think an overreaction would be to say that, Kenny Pickett is just not good. Steelers are not going to be good this year. But they're going to have to show a lot more than they showed in that fucking game.
If their secondary plays anything like they did in this game, where receivers were open, like Brandon Ayuk, like every time was literally like 5 yards wide open.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy how wide open the
I
dude
feel
was.
like
Every play.
I feel like they played zone the entire game.
It looked like they did. And it was like, okay, you might want to cover that guy. Apparently that, whatever. But, yeah, the week 1, we're looking at it, San Francisco, they looked fantastic. So, as for Pittsburgh, you guys got some work to do.
So, on the San Francisco side,
Yep.
we talk about Brock Purdy, right?
Yep.
And you're not sold on it.
Nope.
I'm not sold on it. I would say I'm closer to being sold than you are.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But I tell you, if he keeps playing like this for the next half of this season, so he finished out the half last year. If he just keeps winning and keeps making plays and isn't turning the ball over, at what point are you going to? You have to be sold at a certain point, and I'm speaking for myself. Like, if he keeps this up for another 4, 5, 6 games, I have to be sold.
I want to see him go up against a defense like the Jets, and see what he does with that. Because, we just talked about that Steelers defense. It would we could have thrown those passes
Right.
to wide open. It looked like a 7-on-7 drill. It really did.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
So again, I want to see them go up against a legitimate defense, like a legitimately good defense,
Right.
and then we'll go from there. And then I might start to believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the
Maybe
pit-
he'll be for real.
Is he for? Yeah, he'll be for real. Let's not go down that road again.
Love you, Frank.
Let's not go down that road again. We'll get to the for real team.
Yes, we will.
in a little bit.
Sure.
But Pittsburgh,
Yes.
offensive coordinator Matt Canada
That guy's got to go.
is past his expiration.
Dude, that guy's got to go.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest changes that has to happen after week 1. This for me is very real. It's not an overreaction.
No, that
this dude needs to be done.
That guy should have been gone 2 years ago.
Yes. Yeah.
But for whatever reason, Mike Tomlin has incredible loyalty to this dude. I don't understand why. Maybe he's got some weird photos of him. I have no idea. It's bad because you see this offense. It looks just stagnant.
Very
stagnant. It seems like everybody knows what plays are coming. Like anytime they snap the ball.
Yeah.
Very conservative.
Conservative. Very telling. Like seriously, you're literally telegraphing your plays.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you might as well walk out there and go, "Hey, we're going to toss the ball to Najee Harris to the right."
Yep. Halfback dive.
Right. like draw.
Right.
Draw play.
Oh, like
Yeah,
that. Like that 2nd and 15 in overtime yesterday. I was like, it's 2nd and 15. What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck are you doing?
2nd and 15 draw play. Okay.
What the fuck are you doing? All right. Next.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hit on Houston, Baltimore.
Okay. Baltimore didn't impress me, but again, we talked about this week 1. Everybody looks sloppy. Lamar didn't look particularly good.
Nope.
Nobody on that team looked particularly good, and I feel so bad for J.K. Dobbins. I think he's done. Done. You have that many injuries, and they're all serious injuries.
Yeah, dude. I like something about his body just doesn't want to hold up. For him. He's got all the talent in the world, man. But
sucks.
But his body just breaks down on him every year.
It does. It sucks. I feel so bad for him.
I keep wanting to believe in him too because he has such talent. I mean, I think he would be a very good running back in the NFL if his body would just hold up.
And his body
doesn't.
It's like you should stop doing this.
I mean, that's what his body's telling him every year.
Yeah. But yeah, as for the Ravens, they didn't really impress me, but it's week 1, so I'm not going to go crazy on that. The Texans, they're the fucking Texans. Like, whatever. I mean,
they're the Texans.
CJ Stroud, again, didn't really impress me all that much. It didn't do anything that was just like, oh my God. Like, rookie, this dude has it. Again, week 1, whatever.
Yeah. So the Baltimore Ravens offense needs some work, man.
It does.
Like that Todd Monken offense is not what it was before, where they catered to Lamar Jackson. They need to cater to him more.
I think that's what they're trying to do with inserting all these new weapons that he has now.
Right.
So
and
that's going to take a little bit.
Zay Flowers looks good.
Yes. We talked about
like
him.
Throw the ball to him more.
Yeah, I think that was one of my guys I picked for
absolutely
breakout player or whatever.
We're I don't want to say all three of us. I'm not sure whether Eric was, but you and I are both very high on him.
Yes.
All the talent in the world, and they used him decently, but they need to use him more.
I would agree with
You need to get him more involved.
And that's something you have to look at on tape and be like, hey, maybe we should get this dude more involved.
And to their credit, they did actually try to hand the ball to him. Like he had a couple end arounds, he had a couple run plays. I'm not sure how many passes he had thrown to him. They had him. He was involved, but I mean the guy's making plays. Get him even more involved. Make him. He's not as big as Debo, but turn him into Debo a little bit. Like get him involved. Run him on bubble screens. Throw the ball to him on bubble screens. Run him on end arounds. Line him up in the backfield. Do whatever you have to get this kid the ball.
I would be okay with that. Yes. Yeah.
And then for Houston, they're a work in progress, man. They got a lot of young players on that team. I'm not even really going to say much about this. Like they're not going to be pretty. They're going to make some plays here and there, but it's going to be a long year for them.
Yes, that is fairly obvious.
Carolina, Atlanta.
Do we have to?
I mean, we don't really have to much.
Why does Arthur Smith hate Kyle Pitts? Why?
Yeah, it's. I don't
It's
even know
amazing to me.
Like he's not very involved in the game plan. It seems like, but Drake London wasn't either.
That's what I was just going to get
Like,
to.
why-
It's Drake London apparently as well.
Tyler Algier is your big weapon.
Right.
Now you just drafted in the last couple years. You drafted Bijan Robinson,
Who had a
Yeah, he had a solid game.
He looked good.
He had a solid game, but you still use Tyler Algier more.
Right.
And then Drake London.
Yep.
And Kyle Pitts.
Like, why did you draft these guys?
And Tyler Algier is the guy that is your go-to guy.
Why did you draft these guys if you're not going to use them?
Like you have to.
It's amazing to me.
You have to. What do you draft them for?
And see, I look at that team, and I when we did our picks for division winners, I said if I picked the Falcons to win that division, they can win the division if you use these guys.
They have to use them. That first half looked ugly for them.
Yeah.
Now, they came around and ended up beating them 24-10, but that first half was ugly for them.
Agreed.
And then they turned it up a little bit, but you still have to get those guys more involved. I mean, Bijan, that touchdown Bijan had was pretty much all him.
Yeah.
It was basically a toss out bubble screen almost. And he made 2 moves and broke 2 tackles and made it in the end zone. Get that guy the football more.
Right. And then I look at Carolina, and I was like, he really doesn't have any weapons to throw to. He just doesn't. Like the corpse of Adam Thielen?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Adam, I have no Thielen in my legs anymore.
That's solid.
And yeah, I just that's another one. They're like Houston. It's gonna be a long fucking year for them, man. And I'm not gonna judge Bryce Young this year. I'm just not, because it's not fair to him. And I'm not gonna judge CJ Stroud this year either. You can't. Those guys have nobody.
No.
There's nobody on those teams, man. There's just not.
But you know who is on your team?
Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank.
That's right. If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631.
Yeah.
Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates. Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve.
Yeah.
Flagstar Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546. Fucking asshole. Such an asshole.
I couldn't help
Oh,
myself.
that's funny. Well played, though.
Couldn't help myself.
Well played. Well played.
I'm like a child. It's the small things that keep me entertained. That's what she said.
Yes.
All right, we're going to make our way to the Bengals and the Browns game. Another
scintillating one.
Another ugly game. The Browns pulled it out 24-3. So the whole Cincinnati team didn't look good. Now the defense played well in the first half, and they played well enough overall, but they didn't look great. Joe Burrow was completely rusty.
Yeah, I think he's still hurt.
He has to be.
Yeah,
he has to be.
I think he's still hurt. But it goes to show, like we've talked about basically this entire episode. You get no reps with your guys. This is kind of the result. This is kind of what happens, and that's kind of again that the Bengals offensive line, man. It's they're like up and down. Sometimes they're like really really good.
Yeah.
And other times they're really really bad. And this is the time that you need them to be really really good, because you're going to get your quarterback killed. And as for the Browns side of it, I mean, nothing special there. Deshaun didn't look like anything special.
No.
Nick Chubb did, because Nick Chubb is arguably the best running back in the league. The Browns defense, Myles Garrett especially, he looked like a fucking stud.
Yeah, Myles he's like a fine wine. He just gets better with age, man. He just keeps getting better.
Dude is outstanding.
But yeah, the Bengals were just fucking ugly.
Yes.
And the Browns weren't much better, but they overcame and won the game. I'll take a win over a loss. It was. I don't think there's much you can hang your hat on for either team in this game. The Browns, they have a great run game. Nick Chubb is the real deal, always has been. Myles Garrett, real deal. Both teams have to work on shit.
But
They really do.
Like we talked about, it's week 1, so it's like
It is.
If you say something like bold, then it's a complete overreaction. You know?
Oh, completely. And here's an overreaction. It's time to panic with Joe Burrow and that calf.
No. Now again, if week 5,
Yeah.
then yes.
I mean, I'm concerned.
Oh, you have to be.
Especially, look, all right,
How can
if
you not be?
If I'm a fantasy, if I'm a fan of the team, or if I'm a fantasy owner who drafted Joe Burrow,
Yeah.
which I didn't draft him in any league because that scared the shit out of me. No, thank you. But you have to be worried. A little.
Again, how can you not be?
Not now. You don't panic,
Right.
but there's a bead of sweat coming down your brow. You're a little bit concerned.
A little bit, for sure.
And the Browns, the overreaction is, oh baby, Super Bowl Browns, here we come. No, back off of that, folks. Back off of that one.
yeah,
Back off of that one. They beat an ugly Cincinnati Bengals team
yeah.
in an ugly game.
Take that down about 40%.
Deshaun still looks, I won't even say bad. He looks not good.
He looks average.
Average.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mid.
He looked, oh, fuck you. Okay, moving on from that one. Mid. Fucking A.
Yes.
All right, next. What's the next game?
I don't know.
Cardinals, Redskins.
No.
Yeah.
Cardinals
overreaction.
Yeah.
Maybe Arizona won't lose every game by 20 points.
No, see, there's the caveat by 20 points. I still think they're going to lose every
They're
game.
going to lose every game.
I think they're going to lose every game this year.
I think they want to lose every game.
I do too. And then not be able to draft Caleb Williams because he's going to be like, nah, I'm good. I'm good at SC, baby.
Because he's going to be like, no, I'm going to stick around here and make a couple $1 million and still play college
And even
football.
his dad came out and said he's like, he might stay.
Hey, Mike.
That basically says, Arizona, you can lose all you want. I'm not going there.
Yeah. Yep. And Washington,
whatever.
There. So I think this showed that. I mean, they are who they are. They're not great.
Mid.
I fucking hate you. Holy shit. Moving on.
Hey man, you want to fuck with me during my read?
Yeah. I'm gonna do it even more in the next one too.
I have absolutely no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tampa Bay, Minnesota.
Credit to Baker. He went into that stadium in Minnesota, and he took out the Vikings, who we thought were frauds. They are frauds.
Very much.
Kirk Cousins went Kirk Cousins. You know,
I think Lady Friend just fell on her face.
Well, somebody did.
Hey, Lady Friend, are you okay?
I think she's got life alert. Should be all right.
Like, oh, okay. Hit the button.
Hit the button.
Hit the button.
But yeah, like the Vikings again are who we thought they were. They're frauds.
They are who we thought they were.
Legit. Kirk
And
Cousins,
Tampa Bay didn't let him off the hook.
They didn't. And again, credit to Baker. That throw he made toward the end of the game, that's a beautiful throw. It's a great throw. So again, credit to the Bucs. I still don't think they're very good, but
they're not. And listen, that is a Baker that you can see. You know, he has to be more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, listen, he won the game for him in not so exciting fashion. His stats weren't like spectacular, but they pulled out the game, and there's really not much I can say about them. If you're going to look at what the overreaction might be, the overreaction is the Bucs might actually win the weak NFC South.
No,
and I'm in agreement with you there. That is a definite overreaction.
Absolutely not. Now go make me a sandwich.
And if I could find Minnesota here, the overreaction for that one is the Minnesota season is over before it even got started.
Yeah,
I think all three of us last week kind of pegged that.
Yes, I think we said that after the end of last season.
No, I take it back. I think Eric still had Minnesota winning the division.
No, he doesn't.
I think so.
Eric, do you have Minnesota winning the division?
Let me check our website. I want to check the website, and I can tell you here real quick. Fill the air, Chris.
Minnesota, but no, I honestly think like I know me and you kind of thought after the end of last season
Right.
that they were fucked coming into this year. Just because of how bad that defense is. Yeah. You still have Kirk Cousins as your quarterback.
Eric did pick Minnesota.
Oh, Eric.
You picked Chicago.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
And I picked Detroit. Ooh. And the sad part is all three of us picked different teams, and we might all three be wrong because we'll get to Green Bay here in a little bit.
All right. Well, yeah.
Little teaser there.
Yes.
It's what we call a teaser in the business.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with those two teams. The Tampa Bay is still not very good, but yeah, credit to them. They went up to Minnesota and they beat the Vikings. And as we talked about the Vikings, we thought they were frauds last year.
And the Vikings are not good.
Their Vikings are not good.
Their defense is bad. They lost a couple of guys on that defense. They lost Dalvin Cook, who like him or hate him, he was. I
know. That's why I did, Frank.
Frank says you would pick Chicago.
That's why I did.
I love that. So with this, it just kind of proves that they're not very good. And Alexander Mattison is not a number one running back in the NFL.
He's not a primetime player, baby.
The team is not going to be good enough to have a guy like that be the number one. They're going to have to platoon and put in Ty Chandler, like I said. All right.
The fuck is that? Was it an update?
Hello?
Your boy's calling in because he can't freaking comment.
Oh. You can't comment?
No, I've been hitting send for the I did on the Vikings for 3 minutes.
Oh, all right.
Oh. Well,
thanks for calling in, at least.
Thanks for calling in, bud. You're I wasn't sure who it was. I didn't recognize the number because I just have you in my phone as Eric. So it popped up on here, and I was like, oh, somebody's calling in. Let's answer. So you did, yes. I looked up on the website, and you did take Minnesota. And I'm sure you've been listening. I said we all three took different teams, and we all three might be wrong on that one. So we'll see.
Yep.
Time will tell. But all right, are you going to stay on the line here with us, bud?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Nice.
All right. So everybody, we got Eric on the phone with us now, and we're going to continue to go through these games. Next, let's do the team that is. I'm going to say it, Frank. The team that's for real. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, boy.
Against the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
They won the game 31-21.
Now,
what say you, Christopher?
With this game, honestly, I thought Indianapolis looked better than I thought they would.
They did, actually.
Richardson looked better than I thought he would.
He did. But they catered to him a little bit,
They
right?
did. And
something
exactly what we'll get to that game shortly.
What somebody didn't do with another player that we talk about who has the same skill set.
Yes.
Frank said, told you they were.
They are, yes. Yes. But no, like I said, the Colts look better than I thought they would. Richardson looked better than I thought they would.
Yep.
But you saw Trevor Lawrence does what he does. He's getting to that level. He's getting to the level that Josh Allen should be at.
Like, he still made a few mistakes,
he
but
he didn't make backbreakers.
They weren't glaring mistakes.
Right.
They weren't
exactly
like you said, backbreaking mistakes.
Yes.
They weren't mistakes that cost his team a victory.
Exactly.
Against the team they should have beat.
Yes. So
all right, so Indianapolis overreaction. Anthony Richardson is going to win Rookie of the Year.
No.
I'm going to go with this is not an overreaction, but I still don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I think he's going to be in talks for it if he keeps this up.
I think he'll be in talks, but I don't think he's going to win it.
Yeah.
And then Jacksonville, overreaction. Calvin Ridley is the real deal and spectacular as a player.
Yes.
I agree with that.
That is not an overreaction.
Definitely not, because we
kind
of talked about that. Him coming back, like that was just going to make Trevor Lawrence better. He's got another weapon to throw to.
And just to remind everybody, I did have him as the breakout receiver for this year in the list we went through. I had him as breakout receiver.
You did.
I mean, he could be comeback player of the year as well. I mean, if you want to do that, if I look at comeback player, none of us had him as that. But listen, being out for the entire year.
Yeah, dude. No, the NFL's not going to give that to him.
Well, no, they're not. But I'm saying in the crowd's mind, not in the NFL's mind. But for us, like, listen, this dude could be breakout wide receiver and comeback player of the year, because if he keeps that up,
yeah,
I mean, the dude looked unstoppable.
He did. He looked great.
And Trevor Lawrence didn't really look anybody else's way for a while.
No.
First half, he had 7 catches for over 100 yards and a touchdown. Now, they kind of bottled him up in the second half. He only had 1 catch in the second half. But they started going to other places with the football then as well.
Oh, they just didn't chuck it downfield like Josh Allen?
No, and he didn't throw it to the other team like Josh Allen either. Yeah,
exactly.
So.
I was leaving that one out.
Anything else you guys got on that one?
Nope.
All right. Let's move on to the Titans and the Saints. A very ugly 16-15 game.
I have literally nothing to say about this game because I didn't see any of it.
No.
This one echoes the it was very ugly for week 1.
I mean,
that
if
we've
you get a
talked about.
16-15 game, then yeah, I think the score pretty much speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I mean, did Tannehill do anything special? Doesn't sound like it.
No. He Ryan Tannehill'd.
Okay. Did Derrick Henry do anything special?
I mean, honestly, he looks better than I thought he was going to look this year. He doesn't look like he's at the point of wearing down.
Okay.
I mean, he had another one of those stiff arms where he fucking chucked a guy halfway across the field.
How did Frank's favorite quarterback look?
Frank's favorite quarterback?
Yeah.
I don't think he's his favorite quarterback anymore. He plays for a different team. So Derek Carr, he looked okay. I mean, he didn't look great, but he kept feeding the ball to Olave.
So he looked like Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't look great, but he didn't look bad.
Got it.
He was mid.
There you go. Yeah, you said it, not me.
We're back to that.
You said it, not me.
Yeah.
What are the overreactions and reactions to this?
Okay, so let's see. Overreaction for the Saints is the Derek Carr free agent signing is already a success.
No.
I'm with you. I'm with you. That's not for real. It was a 16-15 game. That's not for real. Now, could it end up being? Yes, but to say it right now, that's a complete overreaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then let's see. For who the fuck was the other team I was talking about?
Titans.
Yes. Yes. Ryan Tannehill might be
No.
might be washed. Basically,
Oh, yes.
is what it says.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he did not look good.
Yeah.
So that could very well not be an overreaction. That could be for real.
Yes. Worst.
He's worst.
Worst.
Now we get to another one of Frank's teams, the Raiders.
Yeah.
That beat the Broncos 17-16.
Let's ride, baby.
Who under Sean Payton
Dude.
looked exactly like Nathaniel Hackett's Broncos from last year.
I think Sean Payton legitimately hates Russell Wilson. I think he hates him. I think he hates him, which is awesome.
How can he not?
Jeremy Yankowski says Derek Carr seems to be a better fit in New Orleans. The only way I would say that is because Olave is a deep threat receiver, and he had the most air yard targets last year, and Derek Carr is a deep ball thrower. So that could
He's not an accurate deep ball thrower.
He's more accurate than most.
Is that right?
He is.
That's amazing.
So
I actually find that stat hard to believe, but I'll take your word for it.
It is the truth, and with those two, they could have a good year. I'm not sure the team's going to have a great year, but those two combined could have a good year, and it might lead to some success for New Orleans. But when we're talking about the Raiders and Broncos, that was another one, just not a pretty game.
No, certainly not.
Not pretty. When you have Garoppolo and Russell Wilson in the same game, it's not going to look great.
No, it isn't. But you're right. The Broncos looked very similar to the way they looked last year. The Raiders, again, nothing special. Jimmy G he's a game manager. That's what he is.
Right. Well, and so the overreaction to this one that they say is Jimmy Garoppolo is kind of good.
No, he's a game manager. He's average.
He can be good. He's not always good.
No, so that doesn't make you good. It makes
Right,
you,
exactly. He's kind of good.
I wouldn't even go that far. But anyways.
Yeah, so even that's an overreaction. Is him being kind of good.
Yes, yes.
Yep. And the Broncos, Sean Payton is still Sean Payton, but Russell Wilson is still Russell Wilson.
In what regard? That's what
he's
shitty.
He's the shitty Russell Wilson.
Oh
last
yes,
year.
100%.
Sean Payton getting there did not change Russell Wilson back into a good quarterback.
No, and it's not going to change him back into being a good quarterback because he's fucking washed.
For week 1, I would say that is for real. He is not good anymore.
I can't change my stance on Russell Wilson.
I can't either at this point.
He's washed.
There's no way to change your stance on him being not washed until he shows that he's not washed. And in that first game, basically showed he's washed.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is not an overreaction in my opinion.
I agree.
Next game, Miami and the Chargers. Basically, the best game of the week.
I was going to say the best game of the week.
The best and best played game of the week, at least on offense.
Yeah.
For both teams.
Defensively?
Now, the defensive units for both teams were not
great.
Okay. Naga,
yeah,
not gonna work.
Basically,
anymore.
both defensive coordinators should not
gonna work here anymore
anyway. But yeah, they both defenses looked absolutely atrocious. However, you got to give it up for Tua. Tua had a hell of a game.
He did.
How many? 400? How many yards? 400.
400 and
449 or something like that.
Let me see. Hold on. I'll tell you right now.
He threw for over 400.
466 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Okay, so Tua had a hell of a week. Tyreek Hill had a hell of a week.
Yes, he did.
Brandon Staley is a terrible head coach.
Tyreek had 11 catches on 15 targets for 215 yards, 2 touchdowns out of the 3 that Tua tossed.
I want to cover that guy.
Yeah, you might. Like it's an option you might want to expand on.
It's a bold strategy to not cover that guy. Just saying. But again, Brandon Staley, the Chargers went Chargers. This is what they do. They snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, they really do.
They really do.
And I hate saying that in this game because it takes something away from Miami, who did win the game.
Right.
But the Chargers will charger at this point under Staley. He has a way of coaching his team out of victories.
Yeah. So
might have picked the first coach out a little wrong this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Cowboys aren't going to play the Giants every week, so let's hold off on that one.
Right.
We'll get to that game.
And you can't even hammer Herbert for this because he actually did. He played.
He played well.
It wasn't. He didn't play great by any
Not
means,
great,
but he played well enough to win that game.
Yep.
It's again.
He only had 10 incompletions. He did only throw for 228 yards and 1 touchdown, but no picks. He protected the football.
Yeah.
He wasn't outstanding, but he played well enough to win that game.
Yep.
And when you have 2 running backs go for what Eckler and Kelly went for, and your run game is working, you should win that game.
Agreed.
But again, if you choose not to cover Tyreek Hill, that's probably a bad strategy.
You're probably going to lose. Yes.
Probably a piss poor strategy when you do that. And here's the overreaction.
Yes.
Is it overreaction? The Tua Tyreek connection is back and as deadly as it has ever been.
Yes. I actually agree with that.
I agree with that one as well.
Yep.
Here's another overreaction that came out of this one that somebody said. Tyreek Hill will be in the running for MVP.
No, because he's a receiver.
Exactly. I agree. No receiver will ever win the MVP.
Nope.
No, they won't.
Now,
even though they're getting paid like
fantasy MVP.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he could. Because if he puts up numbers like that every week, you're going to win a lot of fantasy
Which is
games.
crazy because receivers are getting paid like MVPs now.
Oh, absolutely they are.
So,
and then for the Chargers, let me find them on here. Where'd they go? Here they are. Same old Chargers, fireworks early and blow leads late.
The Charger way.
That's not an overreaction.
That's accurate.
It is completely accurate.
Yes.
And that's what they do. They are the new Atlanta Falcons.
Oof. Oh, speaking of that, did you see Matt Ryan when he's in the booth?
No.
Oh my! First game in the booth with one of the Fox crews.
Yeah.
Not even 20 seconds into this, they're previewing the game, whatever, and the dude brings up 28-3 right next to Matt Ryan.
Oh God!
The look on Matt Ryan's face was priceless. Priceless. If you got to check YouTube, it's hilarious.
I will.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's great.
The look on his face was just like you could see it in his head. He's like, "You motherfucker."
Did you just say what I thought you said?
Oh yeah, it was great.
Next up, the Rams and the Seahawks. The Seahawks play the next opponent for the Lions. They travel to Detroit next week.
Yep.
The Rams handled them quite easily, 30-13. The Seahawks looked bad. The Rams looked decent. What say you on this one? Either one of you guys.
With the Rams, if you have one receiver who I've never heard of, 10 catches, and what do you have? 10 catches, 114 yards.
Puka Nacua.
I never heard of him. No idea who the fuck he is.
He was on the fantasy radar, so I did know about him. He's out of BYU, but he was on the radar for me of a guy that might pan out if Cooper missed more than just a few games.
Okay.
But I mean, Matt Stafford went to him early and often. I mean, he just kept throwing the ball to him, and he kept being open.
So you had him and Tutu Atwell.
Tutu Atwell
had a hell of a game too.
And Van Jefferson was non-existent.
If you're the Seahawks and you're glad those two dudes beat you,
Right. Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua.
That is a fucking problem.
I'm just making noises, folks. Those aren't even.
Are those even real names? But yeah, that's.
no.
When you look at the
Oh,
Rams
no.
side of it, yeah, I mean they went up to Seattle and beat the Seahawks with guys you've never heard of, or most people have never heard of. And as for you look at the Seahawks, you're like, what the hell happened? DeGino did not cook.
DeGino did not cook.
No.
DeGino was a frozen pizza dough.
He was not.
That was not cooked
not
at all.
Good. No, like frozen
Forgot
center,
the old
Florida's Mill,
apron.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, it
but
was not very good.
It was not good.
It was borderline Domino's.
It was. I couldn't believe that score when I saw it. I mean, obviously I was checking it
Shit,
out.
we
on
might
Red
get
Zone.
sued by Domino's now.
Oh boy.
Oh fuck.
God.
But I was looking at. Like, I was obviously watching a little bit through Red Zone, and I kept seeing that score. I'm like, that can't be right. And it's like, oh shit, yeah, that's
That's right.
Legit. Okay, the Seahawks are getting trucked.
It's right.
A team who I thought was could challenge the Niners for the NFC West. But after week one, I'm like, nope.
Yeah, it was quite the performance from that offense who was missing Cooper Kupp. And just Seattle just did not show up. So I overreaction for the Rams says Sean McVay is up to his old devil magic again.
No. I don't even know what that means.
Basically, he's the offensive guru. He gets more out of players than he should. I mean, listen, he had a great game plan.
They schemed for those dudes to get open.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Great.
how is Cooper Kupp open every single week when people know hey, cover this guy?
Yep.
You know, I mean, you scheme well enough, and your offense will succeed. And it looks like that's what we're talking about, then yes, absolutely, I agree. He's up to his old tricks. He knows what he's doing.
But guys like Puka Nacua, whatever.
Puka Nacua
is
and
that
Tutu
Did
Atwell?
I get it right?
Puka
All
Nacua,
right.
yeah.
And but either of those guys have the talent of Cooper Kupp.
No.
There you go.
Now, Puka Nacua actually, this might not be a fluke for him.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna say that because again, I had him on the radar for fantasy. He was a guy that was possibility of a guy who could get some targets from Matt Stafford. Never ever. I'm not going to tell you I thought this was going to happen out the gate. But he's a taller guy. He's physical. He goes after the football. He's one of those guys where you can see succeeding in the NFL for a few years with a quarterback like Matt Stafford who can gun the football.
Okay.
He could continue this. So we'll see. But
fair enough.
Overreaction on the Seahawks side. The Seahawks' performance is the most troubling for any playoff contender in Week 1.
No.
That's not an overreaction.
I don't think it's the most troubling for any playoff contender.
I think it's close, and I think you should be panicked a little bit if you're a Seahawks.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
but
the most troubling, no. Yeah, well, we're getting hung up on words a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
but I think you should be panicked a little bit if you're a Seahawks fan.
I'd be more panicked if I was a Steelers fan.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
kind of where
it's
I was going with that.
They're on the same level.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that just was an ugly performance for Seattle.
Bad.
Very ugly. Now again, I'm gonna say not every team that played ugly this weekend is gonna look like that every week because Week 1 in the new NFL, you see some ugly games.
Yes, you do.
And some teams are not,
and frankly, more than you should.
Not really. Yeah, absolutely. And some teams are just not prepared to play. But you know what team is prepared to play?
Yes, the Joe Wright Group.
Absolutely.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 4 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig, Joe Wright, Mike Bush, Shane Wilson, and Alex DeRocher a call today at 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs.
Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo.
Nice.
Yeah. I knew that one would irritate you a little bit after last night's showing.
Yes, a little bit.
All right. Moving on to Philadelphia and New England, 25-20. Philadelphia pulled this game out. What say you about this game?
New England looked better than I thought they would. Mac Jones actually looks like a legitimate quarterback with somebody who knows what the fuck he's doing calling plays.
I want to tell you a little funny thing here.
Oh,
so
by all means,
he did not look very good early in that game.
He didn't.
And Frank actually texted me and said, "Wow, something about Mac Jones doesn't look good or Mac Jones whatever." And I reacted with, talk about regression instead of progression.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's regressed, and Frank agreed. And then he went on to have the game he had, and I was completely shocked at the game he ended up having because he looked so bad at first.
Yeah.
It was a bad start for him.
Yeah.
But I got to give him credit. He turned it around and played pretty fucking well.
He did.
He was 35 of 54. Now, you throw the ball that many times.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of incomplete passes.
Yeah.
But he had 1 interception. but he had 316 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
So not a bad performance. Not great.
No, certainly not.
But pretty good.
Pretty solid. Again, when you
Pretty
have
solid.
when you have an adult in the room calling plays,
Not Matt Patricia.
not a fucking moron, then yes, this is kind of, and this is exactly what we said was going to happen with the Patriots and Mac Jones. You get a legitimate play caller who knows what the fuck he's doing, he'll be fine.
Yep.
Again, I don't think he's going to be like a stud or anything like that,
He's not going to be elite.
but he's going to be a good quarterback.
Right.
He will be as long as he's going to be like that system quarterback, you know.
Yep. And Philadelphia,
As for the Eagles,
they look rusty to me.
they look rusty. I would say, you know, kind of that Super Bowl hangover a little bit.
A little
You
bit. Jalen Hurts, 22 of 33, 170 yards and a touchdown. Nothing special at all. No interceptions. Didn't turn the ball over. Gainwell was their leading rusher.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift was non-existent.
Non-existent.
Completely non-existent.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith caught 7 receptions for 47 yards. That's not a good yard per catch.
It's not a good ratio.
It's not yards per catch ratio. He did have a touchdown. But, yeah, I mean, Philly looked rusty, but like they're going to be able to.
I think they're going to be fine.
They're going to be fine.
And that defense, they lost a lot on that defense. They're bringing in some young guys. They're
Very young guys,
they're
couple
gonna get
rookies.
Acclimated.
Yep.
I think the Eagles are going to be fine. I still think they're the class of the NFC.
Frank says the Bills make Chris want to shout.
Josh Allen makes me want to fucking shout, which I did last night at the television screen in overtime. Going, what the fuck are you doing?
The fuck are you doing? Tackle him. So overreaction on the New England. overreaction on the New England side. New England's defense looks as good as ever.
As ever? No.
But they look good.
They did, yes.
They look solid.
It's a Belichick defense,
It
dude.
is. You expect
It's
this.
rare that it's going to look even bad or average.
Right. You expect them to look good.
Yes.
And they looked good. I wouldn't say they look better than ever, but
No,
they look
hell
good.
no.
Overreaction for the Eagles. The Eagles won, but they were not the better team on Sunday.
They were the better team. They fucking won.
Right. They won, but
Yeah, that's
they
bad.
were not as good as they could have been. If you win the game, you're the better team,
Yes.
technically.
You play to win the game. If you got the dub, you were
the better team.
You won.
Did they look rusty? Yes, we said that. They did not look great, but there's more to come there, folks. And they're the same team they were last year, minus a few pieces, but adding a few younger pieces. They will be fine along the way.
Yes, I concur with that.
The Packers and the Bears. This is one. I hope Frank stuck around for this one. Packers and the Bears. And he sent me a video today that I showed you, and you had seen it.
I have seen it.
And getting into this game, so the Packers won 38-20.
I still want to punch that guy in the face.
Yeah, he has a very punchable
Oh
face.
my God, does he have a punchable face?
Yeah, the guy that said this stuff has a very punchable
Oh,
face. But,
Eric, I'm going to send this
I'm
video
gonna
to you later.
Yeah,
And I
one
think-
also sent it to you.
Yes.
It's a video of a guy in he's in the media in Chicago, and he basically goes on a tirade of the fact that Chicago basically just didn't use Justin Fields the way they should, and they only designed one run play for him, and it was a quarterback sneak at like 4th and 1 quarterback sneak. So you have a guy who is in his prime, who is a fantastic athlete and running quarterback, and you basically have him drop back and pass the ball 44 times, and he attempts 37 passes in a game.
Bobby Becker, you are absolutely correct. Ugly team win is greater than a pretty team loss.
Oh, absolutely. Bobby Becker,
Absolutely.
appreciate you listening, and I agree with you. I don't know who you are. Appreciate you listening, and you are absolutely right. An ugly team win, a win no matter what, is better than a loss.
This is what bothers me about soccer, is fans will bitch and complain about a team's style of play, even if they win. Like, I don't fucking care how it got done.
No.
You won the game.
A win is a win.
Oh, they didn't play pretty football. Shut the fuck up.
Listen, there's
They
only
won.
There's only 7 at this point in time. There's only 17 games in a season. Every win you get is a win. You have to get as many as you can, and however you pull them out, you pull them out. That's it.
Like, if you have to park the bus and somehow get a goal on a counterattack, fine. I don't care. You won the game.
Right. What'd you say? What'd you say, Eric?
I said all of them count. You said Lions last year.
Right. Bobby Becker, you're friends with Mr. Frank. Well, you're a friend of mine then, and I agree with your comment, buddy. Thank you for listening, and also you're a smart man. I mean, maybe not in the rest of your life. I don't know you, but you're very smart on that comment. I can tell you I'm very smart in some areas and not so smart in others. So,
all right. So we're on the Green Bay Chicago game.
Green Bay Chicago game.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was a bad game by Chicago. Their game plan was just fucking brutal.
Yeah, I didn't.
It was so
and
bad.
I watched the majority of that game. I'm like, I don't. What are you? What are you
didn't
trying to do here?
You didn't get your newest weapon involved in DJ Moore at all. The first play that he had in the preseason was a bubble screen that went for a touchdown. Did you do that at all in this game?
No.
No. You had Justin Fields drop back 44 times to pass, have him pass the ball 37 fucking times, and turned him into a pocket passer, which he is not.
No.
Now he had. Now I will say that touchdown pass to Darnell Mooney was a very good pass.
It was.
He had some good passes in that game. He made some good throws. He is progressing a little bit, but he's not at the point where you're going to drop him back as a pocket passer. Stop doing that.
You can't take Justin Fields out of Justin Fields.
You can't.
You can't. Because
then
you're just basically pigeonholing him. You're limiting him.
Right, Eric, you're right. Not 40 times a game.
No, certainly not. No, that's way.
And if you design one run play, one designed run for Justin Fields, you have failed.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Egregiously.
Yes. Now on the other side of the ball, Jordan Love.
Yes.
I thought he looked fantastic.
So I'm not going to go that far, but he looked really good. He made some very good throws. He looked like I thought he was going to look coming out because I tried to warn people.
And I only say fantastic.
Yeah.
Because he's sat on the bench for 4 years.
3 years.
3 years,
He looked really, really fucking good.
He did. Absolutely.
He made some very good throws in that game. He made some very good reads in that game. He made some very good decisions in that game.
He did.
That's one where, again, preseason, I did caution people like, listen, man, this kid's going to be better than you think he is. He sat for 3 seasons behind Aaron Rodgers. He may not have looked good in a couple of starts that he got before, a couple games he came in before. But again, the NFL game is one that you, as a player, you have to catch up to. It's faster than what you came out of college. You have to catch up to the game.
And that's what we talked about with Trey Lance. Like, you're basically learning on the fly in the NFL, which is a terrible idea.
Yes. But Jordan Love looks like he has caught up to the game.
Agreed. And as for Green Bay's defense, I thought Green Bay's defense looked very, very good.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. And the fact that the three of us picked Detroit, Chicago, and Minnesota,
right?
And in reality, maybe the best team out of this weekend, not taking anything away from Detroit, who beat the defending Super Bowl champions, but maybe the best looking team
was Green Bay
to win was Green Bay.
Yep. Yeah.
Who none of the three of us picked.
No.
Now again, it's week one. Don't overreact. But
speaking of
overreactions, Green Bay's overreaction right here is Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, all Hall of Famers. Jordan Love is going to carry on where Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers left off.
That's absurd.
It's a complete overreaction.
That's a big ass.
Yeah. That's a big ass. That's a big ass.
That is absurd.
Yeah, that's one that let's not go there yet.
Pump the brakes on that one.
Listen, he looked very good, but let's give it a little time, man.
Yeah.
Just be happy with the way he looked right now if you're a Green Bay fan, and go from there. Hopefully he continues to look like that if you are a Green Bay fan. For Chicago, all that offseason hype for Justin Fields and the Bears was just that. It was hype.
It's hard to say that's I don't know.
If they continue to call plays like they did, then yes, it is.
I mean, again, it goes back to what we talked about earlier in the show. If it gets to like week 4, week 5, and it's still what this was.
So if this is what we're going to get, yes, it was all hype because you have to put your players in a position to succeed, and you did not do that for Chicago.
You did not do that
at all.
You were continuously failing Justin Fields.
Yes,
and that's a problem.
Every single time you turn around.
Yep. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, bad. Okay, next would be the last game we're going to cover because we already covered the Bills and the Jets. Would be the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants, the other team out of New York that doesn't play in New York.
Woof.
The Cowboys won that game 40-0, and basically the Giants just did not show up.
It looked like after the Giants' first drive, it looked like they just quit after that.
It basically was like they didn't show up.
Yeah.
I mean, Dallas was out there scrimmaging themselves.
That was just a ridiculously bad game. And it's hysterical to me that you gave that guy, Danny Dimes, $40 million plus to be your starting quarterback.
It was ugly.
Like, holy shit, man.
Yep.
Like, that might go down as one of the worst contracts ever.
Might?
Yes.
Might.
Yes. No, I think it will.
Fair enough.
At least in today's game, it will. Somebody will fuck it up way worse later. But right now, that is by far the worst contract.
Yeah, Eric, I have a hard time disagreeing with you on that one. Right now, it definitely looks like the worst contract I've ever seen.
It's definitely a leader in the clubhouse right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So overreactions to this game, we're not going to break it down too much. I mean, it was an ass whooping by Dallas. Dallas's defense looks great. Micah Parsons looks like
The dude's a beast.
He looks like the defensive player of the year that I said he was going to be.
Yeah. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to win it.
Already put money on it
You
for it
did.
to happen
You
before the
should.
season started. The guy's a monster, and every team that passed up on him needs to have their heads checked.
Nope.
So Dallas Cowboys overreaction. Holy cow! The Dallas Cowboys are the best team in football.
No.
Yeah, that's an overreaction.
They still have Dak as their quarterback.
It's an overreaction.
Huge overreaction.
Yes. They looked like they have a great defense. They might have the best defense in football. It's possible.
It is possible.
They're going to be up there with the Giant. I mean the Jets.
Well.
But they're going to be up there with New England. You know, they're gonna be in the running for the best defense. But as far as the best team overall, no, pump your brakes on that one.
No.
Pump your brakes on that one big time.
Can we go back old school, like Niners Cowboys NFC Championship game?
Well, I mean, it's been Niners Cowboys in the playoffs the last 2 years,
Right,
and the Niners have had them. But you're right. I want to see it. I want to see it in the championship game. And Jeremy Minkowski says,
the
"Or the Giants suck."
I mean,
which is not a stretch.
It's a fair point.
It is a fair point.
It is a fair point. Yes.
It is a fair point. And Bobby Becker says 49ers ?
Their
being
defense,
the best team in football. I think right now, after week 1, I would say the 49ers. If you're judging based on week 1,
yeah,
yes, 49ers are the best team in football right now.
Yeah,
hands down.
I don't think that's a stretch either.
Overreaction for the Giants. Well, that's about that for the New York Giants Cinderella season last year.
Yes,
that's about it. They're done.
Yes. I don't see how it gets better. I really don't. Because they're worse than the other 3 teams in that division.
I mean, they are. They achieved so much last year with such little talent that I do love Dable.
I do too.
I think he can get more out of them. I just don't know if they're going to have the run that they had last year.
0-17, I don't think they're going to go 0-17.
No.
I think the Cardinals are going to go 0-17.
Yes.
But I don't think the Giants will.
Jankowski says 0-17. No, I disagree with you there. I don't think the Giants have enough playmakers with Saquon and some guys on defense. I don't think they're going to go 0-17. And Dable alone will not let that team go 0-17. He'll coach his way into at least a couple victories. I think 0-17 is saved for the Cardinals, for sure.
Funny that you say that because you know who they're playing week 2?
The Cardinals?
Yep.
Oh.
Honestly, I hope they tie. I hope they tie.
Wow. That's gonna be a bad game.
That might be
that's gonna be such a bad game.
Frank says a 2-3 win team. Okay.
Yeah.
With one of those wins possibly coming this week. Because if they don't win this week against the Cardinals.
Oh, listen, if they don't win against the Cardinals, they to me I'm gonna peg them as the worst team in football because the Cardinals
they're trying to be the worst.
They're
team
literally attempting to be the first. Like they're putting in effort to be the worst team in football. If you lose to them and you're trying, that's bad.
Agreed. Now, having gone through this, give me 2 studs of the week and 2 duds of the week.
Ooh. Okay. Stud of the week, Calvin Ridley.
Okay.
That dude is for real.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence is gonna key in on him every single week.
Okay. One of mine is Tua. He walked in, and again, this whole offseason, people questioning, can he stay healthy, blah, blah, blah. Can he do it? He's got the arm to do it, blah, blah, blah. And he did. He walked into, again, against not a very good defense, but still, you still got to put up the numbers, and he put up almost 500 yards passing. That's great, and, whatnot. So it's one of my studs of the week. My other stud of the week is Jordan Love. I love what he did. I love that he went into Chicago, and the Packers still own the Bears. he got the belt. It's like we still own you guys.
Eric, go ahead with your studs of the week, and then I'll get my second one.
Well, Chris just took one of them.
Okay.
I had Tua. I had Tua as well. Awesome performance. You know, even week one, like to come out after all the concussion issues last year and put up numbers like that. Like, I think Tua's going to have a big year if he can stay healthy. So
yeah, as long as he stays conscious.
That's the biggest caveat with him.
Yeah, he has to stay.
Yeah, if he can stay
anytime
conscious,
you talk about Tua,
right.
you have to say at the end of it, if he stays healthy.
Like he has to stay awake in order to.
Yeah. Like honestly,
Bobby Becker says one of his studs is Tyreek Hill because he cost me my fantasy game. Over 200 of those 2 yards for him. Dud Josh Allen.
Bobby, that is one of my duds as well. Is Josh Allen.
Eric, who's your other stud?
So I had Jahmyr Gibbs. I was pleasantly surprised at the production we got out of him. He averaged more yards than Montgomery, which was nice to see. It's game one.
Right.
You know, compares to a back that is proven in this league. To see a rookie back put up numbers equal to or better than a proven back, even his first game, like hopefully that shows a lot of upside that's coming.
You got a little wiener and some tiny nuts.
No, he had a decent game. They're going to use him a lot more coming up here too. They didn't really use him as much as they could have.
Oh yeah, you just saw a flash of what you're going to get.
Yeah, they're going to they're going to increase his touches every game. My second stud will be. I mean, obviously could have went with Tua. I'm not going to go with that because you took it. You both kind of took him. So that would have been one of mine. I'm gonna in the aspect of doing somebody else. I'm gonna go on with that. I'm gonna say Baker.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have a necessarily great game, but he came in clutch and he pulled out the victory for that team that really nobody expected him to come out and play well. He was pegged as by some of us to be one of the first bench quarterbacks.
Yep.
Even in the national media, they didn't expect much out of him, much out of that team. I think he played solid, and he pulled out a victory for that team, and he was a leader on that team. And I'm a fan of the guy. I'm going to say he's one of my studs of the week.
All right.
So.
And then my two duds of the week were, as I said, along with Bobby Becker here, Josh Allen, and the entirety of the New York Giants. Like, those are my duds of the week. Like, especially when you play a divisional game from the Giants, and it looks like you literally quit after the first drive.
Yes.
Like, sorry, that's unacceptable. And then obviously we talked at length at the beginning of the show about Josh Allen and just how you literally, because of you, your team lost.
Eric, your duds of the week.
Oh, well.
I can give you a
Aaron Rodgers. There's a dud.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
Not really. Sorry, that's a hit below the belt, but there's a dud.
Not really his fault, but yes, dud for everybody.
And the season is over.
Yeah, 4 plays.
Sad but true. This is. I'm sorry, but this is just something that I've had with Rodgers the last few years, and you know all about that.
Yeah. Well, are the Giants cursed at quarterback? I mean.
Well, yeah.
Like really,
here's a funny. You just paid Mason Rudolph $40 million because that's how bad that signing is.
I mean, this is what Danny Dimes and the Giants did on Sunday night.
Yeah.
You ready for this? No team has ever lost 40-0 or worse. Lost the sack battle 7-0 or worse. Lost the turnover battle 3-0 or worse. Had a blocked field goal return for a TD. Threw a pick 6 in the same season. The Giants did it in one game. That goes for what did I learn this week? That's what I learned.
No.
That's not the kind of history you want to be making.
Yeah.
So
no.
That's that's got to be the worst performance of the week. It has to be. I mean, out of all these games we went through, the Giants has to be the worst performance of the week.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
And then I see this thing on ESPN right here is these idiots, Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp. Is Tom Brady the answer for the Jets? No, he isn't.
Come on.
Stop.
That that would be the biggest scripted shit ever. Like Tom Brady comes out of retirement, plays for the Jets, and wins a Super Bowl.
I mean, you want to
Well,
talk
he's
about
part
like conspiracy
owner
theories
and
coming out of the woodwork? If that happened, oh
Right.
good lord, yeah. I mean, and credit to the NFL with how they're kind of like poking fun at it with these commercials with
Yeah,
I
the
think
scripted
the commercials are great.
Yeah, they are funny. Sorry, we got off track. Eric, who's your other dud of the week? And then I'll give my two.
You know what? Sky Moore.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially nobody picked cadavers.
All the
Just wait.
Oh, there,
Just wait.
there it
Old
is.
brick hand.
Yeah,
There it is.
hold please. Yeah, so stole it.
Sorry, buddy.
Cadaverous.
Sorry to steal your thunder on that one.
That dude, fucking, he could not catch a fucking cold.
No, nope.
No.
Like, that dude couldn't have stuck to a fucking Velcro if he was wearing an all Velcro suit. Like, there's that dude, nothing was gonna. He couldn't have caught a football if he fucking spread stickum all over his body.
He looked like Clifford Franklin.
Yeah.
That's what he
Like that
literally.
was one of the
Bad.
worst performances by a wide receiver I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was-
Dude, you had 5 passes thrown to you. You had 1 catch for 1 yard, and 4 of them hit you in the hands and you dropped them, and 1 of them went through your hands for a pick 6. One of the worst performances I've seen by a wide receiver ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And my
Why
other
the nickname exists.
excuse me.
You all right there, buddy?
Yeah, look, even I caught a cold.
Bless you, sir.
My other dud is, people might not know who this is, Luke Getsy.
Is he a kicker?
Nope.
Okay.
He's the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You called one designed run for your running quarterback. Fucking, it doesn't get any worse than that in week 1. You need to go back to the drawing board and figure some shit out. That was fucking brutal.
Okay.
That was awful.
Nice.
In a week where you could have picked a lot of awful performances, that was awful.
That was a very terrible performance.
Yep. You know who isn't terrible?
Who's that?
Bald Man Entertainment.
That's right.
We all know that planning an event such as a wedding, birthday party, graduation party, or any other event that might require a DJ can be very hairy. Eliminate the stress and give Steve Waddell of Bald Man Entertainment a call today at 586-747-5402. The best decision you can make for a smooth event.
Nicely done. Good job, buddy.
Thanks.
Yes.
Appreciate it. I had to explain the jokes in that to somebody. They weren't really paying attention to the read when I did it.
Got it.
I'm not going to call this person out, but they were. I was like, did you pick up on the jokes in that? No. What? And I read it again. I read it a little slower.
Yeah.
I was like, it's Bald Man Entertainment. You're planning an event could be very hairy. A smooth event.
Yeah.
Like I had to literally draw lines on a chalkboard for it.
Here.
But sometimes my humor in these things goes unnoticed
A little bit.
by
yeah.
some people.
All
But
right.
whatever. I digress,
May I hit the picks?
as I always do. Yeah, let's do the picks.
Okay.
This segment is brought to you by the Joe Wright Group.
It's time!
Yeah. So. Yeah. Joe.
Yeah.
You should be saying yeah because you were the winner of week 1 or week 1 I guess that we've done the picks.
Week 1?
Yes.
Week 1?
With a solid
Week.
10 out of 12, man.
10 out of 12.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Eric, me and you both did 8 out of 12, which I'll take a winning week. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll take a winning week.
Yeah, listen, a winning week is better than a non-winning week.
That's right.
I mean,
Yes, it is.
yes. Pardon me. I'm going to adjust your camera angle here again.
Okay.
Because you are not centered and Eric is not here, so that makes no sense to have the camera angle like that.
Right.
Okay.
So, yes. So, Joe, you won the week, which congratulations to you.
Thank you.
That puts you in the lead for the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Yeah?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, with that
Yeah.
being said, we're going to start off with the college picks, as we always do.
The
First-
collage picks.
The college picks. Yes. First up, we got Tennessee laying 6.5, taking on Florida.
Ooh. Tennessee laying 6.5, taking on Florida. Give me Tennessee.
Joe takes Tennessee. Eric, who you got?
I've also got the Volunteers.
Okay.
The Vols.
Nice.
Look at you pulling out their
Vols.
actual name, man.
Nicely
The
done.
Volunteers.
I like
that?
it. I like it.
That
I
was-
like it. We're
yeah.
chalk across
You
the
go
board.
Kirk Cousins here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that?
You like that?
You like that?
I like that.
Next up, we have LSU laying 9.5, taking on Mississippi State.
LSU 9.5. Chris, take this one for now.
I'm gonna roll with LSU. Even though I despise Brian Kelly, I think they bounce back. I don't think Mississippi State's that good, to be honest with you. So I know 9.5 is a lot. I think LSU covers that.
You know what? I it's hard for me to. Yeah, I think I'm with you there. 9.5 is a lot in this game, but I think LSU. They played really well last week. I think they're going to continue that this week. Give me them minus 9.5.
All right, Eric, who you got?
Yep, I've also got LSU. Mississippi State is not that good.
Okay.
To be able to easily cover.
And for what it's worth, Bobby Becker, who's listening along and participating, said Florida with the points. So we'll throw that one out there.
Oh.
Just for everybody to see and hear.
Next up, we got Minnesota taking on North Carolina with North Carolina laying 7. Eric, you want to take it? Nope.
Yeah, Eric, you take that.
I'm going to take North Carolina. Minnesota, I don't think is very good this year.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say North Carolina. Give me North Carolina. I like them this year. I think they could be for real in staying up in the top 25. Give me North Carolina minus 7.
I'm rolling with Carolina as well. I think PJ Fleck is a fraud, and I like North Carolina's quarterback. So yeah, I'm going to roll with Carolina on this one.
I like what Bobby Becker just said. Fuck Brian Kelly and his fake Bayou accent, have an ass.
You're fucking right, Bobby Becker. I'm with you 100% on this one, buddy.
Bobby Becker, you are making friends on this show really
Yes,
quickly.
Very quickly, absolutely.
Yes, you are.
I'm with you 1,000,000% on that.
There should be a segment with that terrible speech in it.
That we should all just do terrible Bayou accents for one segment.
There needs to be like a Dan Campbell video, but with that.
Oh, with that. Oh,
God.
You just gave me a new project to work on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we have Washington laying 16, taking on Michigan State.
Give me Washington. I think some of the turmoil that happened this week, which we didn't really get into, might cause them to not be completely prepared.
We'll get more into it next week.
Might cause this to not be completely.
Yep.
Them to be completely prepared for this game. So give me Washington minus 16.
Eric, who you got?
You know what? God dang it. Give me Michigan State.
Eric, I'm with you. I'm also rolling
I
with
think-
Michigan
I
State.
think they're going to play through it. I think they're going to come through this week because of the issues this week.
I think they're going to play. Yes, I agree with him. I think they're going to play for, Tucker. And that's a tough trip. You've seen it all the time when Big Ten goes to play.
They're going to play for D'Antonio?
Or D'Antonio, whatever. That's, again, we'll get into that situation next week.
They're not playing for Tucker anymore.
I know, but in theory they are.
They are no longer playing for Mel Tugger.
Right. In theory they are, though. But you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm going to take Michigan State.
It is no longer Tuck coming.
Well, he already came. Moving on.
Moving on.
Next up, we got Kansas State laying 5, taking on Missouri.
Eric, you're going to have to take this one.
Oh, God. Give me Kansas State.
Oh.
Eric, I'm with you. I'm also rolling with Kansas State.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me Kansas State.
Oh, man. I'm glad and then last college game of the week, we got Bowling Green taking on Michigan. Michigan's laying 40.5. This is easy for me.
You mean Bowling Green?
Bowling Green all day, every day.
I mean Bowling Green.
Bet the fucking mortgage on this one.
Yep.
Sadly, this will be the third game that Michigan will not cover.
I don't have an issue with that.
I don't either because
I
they
don't.
get up by so much, they just kind of pull off the gas, and we all kind of see this coming. I don't have a problem with it. They do need to fix their run game, though. Let's talk about that a little bit. But I'm gonna take Bowling Green getting the 40.5 for sure.
Okay.
And Bobby Becker agrees with us and says Michigan won't cover.
Nope. That might be the easiest bet. That might be talk about lock of the week.
That might be.
That might be a lock of the week.
Watch them.
This will be the one.
This will be the one where they beat them 56-0.
No, yeah, they'll beat them like 41.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
ridiculous. All right, so moving on to the NFL. First up, we got the Vikings taking on the Eagles. The Eagles are laying 7.
Give me the Eagles at home to just shit all over that Minnesota Vikings fake team with no defense, no real semblance of an offense other than Justin Jefferson, who is just a monster. That dude needs to leave Minnesota before he just runs his career there.
Yep.
Best receiver in the league playing for a bad team like that, and a not-so-good quarterback. But give me Philadelphia to bounce back, to look better this week than they did last week, and put a stomping on Minnesota at home.
I'm also taking Philadelphia. I don't think it's going to be a stomping because those Thursday games, that's a tough turnaround from a Sunday game. I do, however, think Philadelphia is going to cover that. I think they're going to win handily. I'd say like maybe 10, 13 point, whatever. But yeah, give me the Eagles on this one.
100% agreement, boys. They should cover this pretty easily.
All right.
Dynamite drop in, Monty.
Yeah.
I love that.
Just fucking with you, buddy.
Next up, we have the Raiders taking on the Bills. The Bills are laying 9. I'm going to go with the Raiders in this one.
Jesus.
Again, they can run the ball. The Bills can't stop the run.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders didn't look great in that first game, but the Bills definitely did not look great in that first game. I don't think the Raiders have as good a defense as the Jets, but they do have a good enough defense.
Yeah.
Give me the Raiders getting 9 points. That's a lot of points to be getting. I know they're kind of thinking Buffalo getting back home, righting the ship, but I think the Raiders have a better team than what people think. That offense, it will be good enough, and the defense is good. Give me them to stay within 9.
Yeah. Across the board.
You're taking the Raiders. Okay.
Yeah.
The Raiders.
Next up, we got Baltimore taking on Cincinnati. Cincinnati is laying 3.5.
Oh, well, this one's pretty easy for me. I don't think Joe Burrow is back. I think either that injury's bothering him, he's very rusty, something. The team looked bad. Baltimore will build on that first game and do some things better. They'll rely on Lamar Jackson a little more because Dobbins will be out. Give me the Ravens to getting 3.5. I think they're going to win that game outright, actually. So
Joe,
give me the 3.5 points.
I'm with you for pretty much every reason that you just laid out. I'm taking the Ravens as well.
Yep. Same.
Okay. Next up, we got the Chiefs laying 3, taking on the Jaguars.
Give me the Jags. I think they'll keep this close. I think it'll be a close game. I'm not saying they're going to win this game, but their defense is good. Their offense can keep up. Kansas City, listen, Chris Jones is coming back. He's not going to be 100%. He's just coming back. He hasn't practiced. You're not going to get 100% Chris Jones. Kelsey might not be 100%. I know it's 10 days after this game, but Kelsey might not be 100%. And it's not even a lock he plays. So that team looks really not great without both those players. And with both those players not being 100%, give me Jacksonville. Give me the 3 points.
Again, for the reasons you just laid out, I'm taking Jacksonville as well.
I'm going the other way, boys. I think the Chiefs bounce back this week.
Nice. I like it.
Greg, is that you? Did you take over Eric's body? Greg?
Must have known I saw Greg today.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Nice. How's this Kansas City Chiefs loving ass doing?
Oh, he congratulated me on a good game. I told him I was going to leave him alone. I was going to be nice. If playoffs come and it happens again, I'm not going to be nice.
Oh.
If we get there.
If.
Very large if.
All right, so next up we got the Saints laying 3 taking on the Panthers.
Saints laying 3 taking on the Panthers. The first of the 2 Monday night games.
Yes. Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, I thought it was like a misprint on the score, but I was like,
nope.
Apparently there's
one game starts at 7:15, the other one at 8:15.
Okay. I don't know why they just wouldn't do one East Coast game, one West Coast game.
I don't know either. That kind of like you should.
Like they used to do that week, the first Monday night game
they
of
did.
the year.
They did, and they would have one game start at like 7:15, the other one start at 10:30 or something like that. But this one, you're gonna have to try to watch both games at the same time.
But they changed it so they could get a Monday night playoff game.
Oh,
that's why. That's why they did that.
Well, for some reason, we have 2 Monday night games this week.
Right.
At the same fucking time almost.
Yeah.
Give me the Saints in this one minus the 3. Carolina's got too many young guys and too much going on there. The Saints, I think they put together a better game than they did last game, even though they did win. I think they'll right the ship a little bit on offense. The defense is pretty damn good. I think the defense is gonna tee off on a rookie quarterback. Give me New Orleans minus the 3.
I'm also going with New Orleans. For whatever reason, I think Derek Carr actually has a decent game this week, and I think he's going to put the Saints over the top. And like you just said with the Panthers, their receiving core not exactly, great by any means. I think Ohio State's receiver core is better.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me the Saints.
Yeah, I got nothing to argue with there, boys. All the way across again.
Okay. Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns laying 2.5, taking on the Steelers. Rivalry game, baby.
Yeah, give me the Browns. I'm not saying Pittsburgh's going to look as bad as they did, but they looked really, really fucking bad. Cleveland did not look great. They looked great in certain areas. Deshaun has to fucking right his ship real quick. But give me the Browns minus 2.5. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Browns pull it out by a field goal.
I'm going with the Steelers in this one because I don't think there's any fucking way that Mike Tomlin lets his team play like they did in Week 1. I think they would, especially rivalry game at home. I think the Steelers take this one. It's going to be close. It's going to be a good game, but I'm going to take the Steelers.
Yeah, I think I'm also going with the Steelers. I don't think the Browns can keep it, can do that 2 weeks in a row.
All right.
That, and you played it really bad since it just looked like they didn't even show up last week. So
they didn't.
Next up, we got the Dolphins laying 2.5, taking on the Patriots.
Ooh,
that's a really small.
This is
spread.
That's juicy. That's wow. That's just that.
I like the Dolphins a lot, Matt.
You taking the Dolphins, Eric?
Yes, I'm taking the Dolphins. Tyreek goes off again.
I love the Dolphins, but Vegas right now with this spread,
they know something.
Vegas is telling me.
Yep.
They're trying to get people to take the Dolphins. For that reason, when Vegas tells you something, when Vegas points at something for you, and you see it, take it. I'm going to take the Patriots and that defense in New England, and I'm going to get 2.5 points.
Joe, I'm with you 100% on this. Vegas knows, man. Vegas is rarely wrong.
The fact that they make that game basically a pick 'em.
And I know it's a night game in
it
Foxborough. I get it.
But, Miami just came off that big game, scoring all those points.
Yep.
New England didn't look great.
And Miami's traveling back from the West Coast.
Right. But they're basically tempting you to take Miami. Like, I'm only giving up 2.5. I'm going to get Miami, only giving up 2.5. No, give me New England.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. And the final game of our picks in the NFL slate, we got the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Detroit Lions. Detroit is laying 6.
Give me the Lions. I think they hand it to a Seattle Seahawks team that is not prepared right now to play good teams. They weren't even prepared to play an okay team in the Rams. I think Detroit continues their momentum, coming off a big win for them. and they just at home with a crowd that might set records for how loud it will be in there. Give me the Lions.
I'm also taking the Lions. Again, that crowd is going to be absolutely insane. Seattle, again, we saw it this past week. They look like shit. And again, I'm sorry, that travel from the West Coast, that's never easy.
No, never.
So, yeah, give me the Lions. I think the Lions, like you said, I think the Lions hand it to them. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. I think this is going to be completely different than last year's Seattle-Detroit game.
Yep.
Yes.
I already had yours in, Eric.
Yes.
we already put you in, man.
I already put you in, dude.
Hold on. Let me give Eric's answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Play the forward down the field song right now. That's
Never.
how much yes.
I don't have that on this screen right now, but
never.
Yeah.
that song should go away
forever.
That should the new Lions regime should get rid of that song because it does nothing but bring up losing mentality. Bobby
That is
Becker.
very true.
Bobby Becker says, "I was at the Chiefs game. Lions fans were loud there. I can only imagine how loud they'll be at home."
They will. That place will be rocking.
I do agree with you. That will be. I think this will be. We heard it loud.
Yes.
Chicago Monday night game.
They had their first Monday night game. What was like 15 years, 10 years,
Yeah,
10, 15
that
years,
was loud.
whatever. That place was loudest. That place was shaking.
Yes,
it was that loud.
I think this will be the loudest that place has ever been.
Uh-huh.
Coming off of this victory in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be.
I really don't see it any other way. I really don't.
I don't either.
And honestly, this might be another lock of the week.
Could be.
I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I might have to put that little parlay action on that.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I like
and
that.
those are the picks.
Those are the picks.
All right. Anything else we want to get into today? We didn't get into much college. We talked about college when we did the picks. I don't think there's been many games to talk about other than Texas beating Alabama. Alabama is not the Alabama of old.
It's weird when everybody else can cheat. Weird how that works.
Strange how that pans out.
Weird how that works. When it's a level,
not cheat. It's weird when everyone else can actually pay the players
Right.
across like above board.
when it's a level playing field.
Yes.
Yeah, it's weird how that works.
Yeah, because it's not cheating now. You actually are allowed to pay
Right.
players, whereas it was just like Alabama and Ohio State before.
Yes, when it's a level playing field. It's
Every college gets to pay their players now. So
right, yeah. Funny how that works.
Wow.
Yeah. Dominance
Not
is
just in
dominance is
scholarship.
gone there, buddy.
what'd you say, Eric?
I said not just in scholarships,
Yeah.
Right.
No. The good old
not just what's on paper.
yeah.
Hey, remember
the good old NIL.
Yeah. Remember the
Yeah.
SEC? It just means more. Remember that.
Yeah.
It's about time though, dude. These kids deserve it.
No, I was on board for this for a long time. So was Chris. I know that for a
Yep.
fact. We were like they had to figure something out.
I do. Think
I'm not saying it's a perfect system,
It's
but
not. I do think there needs to be some regulation to it.
yes, more than there is now.
Yes.
But yeah, it's not a perfect system,
Yeah.
but I think it had to happen at some point, and they'll get control of it. I hope. But it's definitely better than it was before.
Correct.
Anything else, fellas?
Other than Bobby Becker's last comment, Aiden Hutchinson will feast. Yeah, he probably will.
Yeah, I would be a little bit afraid if I were DeGino.
I'd set the over-under for false starts on Seattle at 6.
Yeah,
I'm going to take the over on it.
false starts 6.
Yep.
It's a lot, but it could happen because that crowd's gonna be loud as hell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
with that,
All right. With that said, it's going to be the end of this week's episode. Give us a like, a share, and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts at your favorite podcast provider. As always, check out SOTDET.com. There you will find our show picks. You will find some fantasy information, fantasy football information, some starts and sits, projections. And you'll also find our shop. Click on shop, buy some stuff. It supports us. We would appreciate it. SOTDET.com. On behalf of Chris and Eric from home, we are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye, have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No!
Goodbye.
No! Goodbye! No!
It's never goodbye.
You know
know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
And you were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.